Hey, Brian, I thought I would take a moment to do a video on this because I think it's kind of an important topic. So, the first thing that you need to know is that a mast cell that's creating like the histamine intolerance has an 8-year life cycle. The bone marrow reproduces mast cells every 8 years. So, the first thing you want to do is make sure that you're not recreating a problem in the system, right? So we want to use things that lower the histamine reaction and response. And there are some over the counter, there are some pharmaceutical prescriptions that you can get, and then there are some all natural supplements that you can use, right? So one of the things that a lot of people get recommended is quercetin. If you've been doing quercetin for a while and that's not working, I would recommend that you switch to luteolin. There are some other things that you can add on board with the luteolin that will help decrease the mast cells. One of the things in particular that we use pretty commonly, Perillia can be used. And then you can also use some essential oils. There's some literature behind some of the essential oils being able to calm a histamine response. In the system, we also want to be looking for things like parasites, the virus that maybe caused the start of the mast cell activation syndrome, or the environment. So it might have been mold, it could have been Lyme, it could have been Bartonella, or cat scratch fever. So if you've had a pet that's a cat, we may want to be investigating those causes. And again, like, this isn't medical advice, this is just what I would do with my clients. So then the next thing we want to do is treat the environment or the trigger. So if you're living in an environment that has mold in it, obviously we need to get you out of mold, and try and fix that and fix the destruction that's happening in the body due to mycotoxins. And then the next thing in my order of operations that I want to fix is the leaky gut, because until we fix the leaky gut, the mast cell activation syndrome might just come back and the histamine intolerance then just comes back. So we look at the leaky gut. And one of the things that I also do in this like cascade of what are we treating and how are we treating it is I put everyone, because the gut's not functioning ideally anyway, on a liquid liposomal multivitamin. We may also use a liquid liposomal glutathione to help the body have some more antioxidants. And we will likely also, after getting the testing back, put them on a liquid liposomal vitamin D3 with K2. That's important because a lot of times what's happened is you've become so reactive to everything that you stop eating anything, and food is never really the trigger. It's usually literally the system overreacting to the initial insult and continuing to overreact then to something else that you're showing up allergic to one day and not another day. So after we calm the histamine stuff down, I'm not going to say we're going to completely resolve it in that first step. We're literally just trying to calm it down enough to get to the next step, which is the environmental thing or the trigger. And then we're going to go step by step through and get rid of things in the body that could be allowing parasites to thrive. Because until you get rid of the things in the body that are allowing parasites to thrive, they just continue reproducing. After we get through the other things, then we would do a parasite cleanse and we'd kind of boost the immune system again, making sure that we have enough mineral support to keep the whole body healthy. Throughout that whole process, we'd be working on healing the lining of the gut. I particularly like one supplement. I can't mention that here though, because this video will get pulled down because you can't get it on TikTok Shop. And then I follow up that with, okay, do we still have candida as an issue? Because when the leaky gut fixes itself, the histamine issues reduce, we get rid of the bad things in the environment, then typically candida starts to balance out. Now, I may also ask for some support in getting some specific peptides on board that are known to help with some of these autoimmune looking type things, which a histamine response, MCAS, looks very much like an autoimmune disorder. And so well, the body starts treating it that way. So we need to treat it as such. And again, there are peptides that can help with that. So I'm going to reach out to somebody that I know that does peptides, and I'm going to say, hey, I need this for this client. I'm also going to recommend things like red light therapy, and then we're going to really work to clean up the system at the end and make sure that there's nothing else there that can be creating a continued problem, and teaching people how to manage when a flare happens so that they don't continually need to pay someone like me to help them. If you're looking for, I just need something to get the candida under control, until you start having good gut bacteria, the candida won't come into control. But you can start with something like Saccharomyces boulardii, which does eat candida. Again, you can look up different supplements for that. I don't believe you can get it here on TikTok Shop, so I can't give you a specific recommendation. There are quite a few, again, essential oils that you could use that would also help lower the candida in your body. And although people tell you to stay away from fruit, apple cider vinegar helps lower candida. And simple things like coconut oil, for whatever that's worth. If you wanted to make yourself a really lovely Asian dish and put things in it that had olive oil, oregano, fresh ginger, clove, garlic, those things all too would help with candida. But because you have an intestinal bacterial overgrowth, you may end up creating some intestinal distress if you threw all of those into the same meal. Vegetables that support clearing out candida are all of the brassica family, so broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, asparagus, cabbage. You can also use things like cinnamon, turmeric, lemon, or lime, and that helps as well. If you found some value in this, don't hesitate to give me a follow, hit the like button, and leave a comment that's at least 9 words long to help boost my content in the algorithm. If you want direct recommendations, you can join my email list here.